My previous recording got interrupted, so I'm going to pick up where we left off. We were looking at Genesis 34. So let's take a close look at this. Vayir'u Echav ki oto ahav avihem kol Echav. His brothers saw that him, their father, loved more than any of his brothers. So oto is fronted, and we have verb subject word order instead of the usual subject verb word order. The next two examples are a little more complicated. Let's look at Genesis 37 verse 11. What looks like a basic subject verb clause in the second half has actually been set up by the context, that is, by contrast with Joseph's brothers, to make the phrase aviv a focus element. Vaikanu vo echav va'aviv shamor et hadavar. His brothers were jealous because of him, and his father guarded the matter, or kept the matter. So aviv actually has been fronted here for emphasis, and we're back to subject verb word order, which is our standard word order, but aviv is being fronted. Genesis 22:12 is pretty complicated grammatically, but it is a decent example of fronting for focus. So Genesis 22 verse 12 illustrates predicate subject inversion in a null copula clause. This is a clause that does not have a copula or a verb. Recall that null copula and participial clauses are not inverted by grammatical words. See lesson 18. That is to say, these particular types of clauses will not have verb subject word order when a grammatical word begins the clause, but they can have verb subject word order when a topic or focus has been fronted. So Genesis 22 verse 12, Ata yadati ki yarei Elohim ata. Now I know that a fearer of God are you. So everything after ki is a null copula clause, that is to say the to be verb, which is translated, or which is added in here as are, is not in the Hebrew. It's not necessary. So this is a verbless clause. We add in are in our English translation. And Yarei Elohim has been moved to the front of the clause. And the subject is at the end. So Yarei Elohim is fronted because the author wants to add emphasis to the fact that Abraham is a God-fearer. Just a couple more things on the fronting of focus terms. For irreal clauses in which the normal word order is verb subject, it makes sense that the focusing and fronting of a subject triggers inversion back to subject verb. So if we front something in an irreal clause, we have a switch in word order. So we get back to subject verb. An example from Genesis 44 verse 33 shows us how this works. The subject noun hanar is focused and thus fronted before the irreal verb ya'al, producing subject verb order. Va'ata yeshev na avdecha tachat hanar eved la doni v'hanar ya'al im echav. And now, please let your servant stay instead of the boy as a servant to my Lord, and let the boy go up with his brothers. So we see the boy being fronted to the front of this clause when it normally would follow this irreal imperfect, because we, by context, know that should be let the boy. So hanar has been fronted to before in front of the irreal imperfect. So this is a rather dense lesson. Lesson 41 talks about word order with topic and focus. It really boils down to this idea that Hebrew authors can move the word order around in order to focus our attention upon one particular element. When an author does this, it changes the basic word order of any given clause.